brothers on my show. They were actually very, very funny. Mike played at Florida. They were a national champ. I got to ask him this because it is interesting, like Michael Jordan's kid and LeBron's kid. Obviously, you get your dad's DNA, so you're talented. But how do you make your kid, if you're rich, if you're a millionaire, if those guys are billionaires, how do you make your kid have that hunger?
I mean, I think you just have to love the sport. Like, I have two nephews that play high school football. My brother coaches them.
And your brother
they did not grow up the way that we grew up.
Your brother grew up rich, or your brother didn't grow up rich, but
no.
your brother's kids did.
Well, sure, yes. So, but they both play high school football, and for them, they just love the game. They watched him play, and look, I don't think that they have the same motivations that Jason did, obviously.
Yeah.
But you just have to love the game. You have to hate losing and have that. What it is you have to be born with that natural competitive drive.
All right.
So that's where I think it comes from.
Well, let's go to the Coward Global Satellite Network. Mike Pouncey, 8 years, first year with the Chargers. By the way, I don't know, Mike, good seeing you again, Mike. Do you have kids, Mike?
Yes, sir. I have two of them.
Okay, you tell me. So you probably, I don't know if your parents were millionaires, but you're a very successful guy, and that you have these kids. Do they play football?
Well, my son plays flag football. My daughter, she hates sports. She's just the ultimate girl. But my son, he's like me. He's very competitive. I don't think they understand that we have money, because we don't raise them that way. We kind of raise them the way I was raised. But they're awesome kids. They love school. And my son, I can't wait to see what he grows up to be because I think he's going to be a heck of an athlete.
So you don't raise them. So how do you hide? I mean, you live in a nice house, I bet. Now, how do you pretend that you don't have any money there, Mike?
Well, it's hard, because it's hard because they get everything they want. I love my kids. I spoil them to death because when I grew up very, very poor. And so for me, when I told myself when I was growing up, when I had kids that I was going to spoil them and give them everything that I wanted as a kid. And so they understand that we have money, we're comfortable, they get whatever they want, but we're very hard on them because we want them to grow up to be successful kids too.
Now, it's interesting, Mike, you played in Miami, which is I'll tell you, you played in Miami and L.A. You've played in fun cities. No Detroit or Buffalo for you. when you are a grinder, but is it different? I mean, you've got brothers, teammates, Miami and the Chargers in L.A. And then you played college football in Florida. It's been a charmed life for you. When you heard the Chargers wanted you, what was your first thought?
I told my agent, Joel Siegel, get me on the first flight out there. I was excited for it. I knew the talent that this football team had. I wanted to play with Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon, the running back's awesome. And I just knew this team had the best chance to, make a run in the playoffs and do something special, especially at this point in my career. All I care about is winning games. I want to do something special. I want to be remembered. And as an offensive lineman, the only way to get remembered is by winning.
You played with Tebow, if I recall, in college, and you won. Yep. So you had one of the iconic college quarterbacks. You now play with a guy I think's a Hall of Famer, Phillip Rivers. They don't look like the same quarterback, right? But
totally different. Are
there any similarities between Tebow and Phillip's perhaps personalities?
I think the competitive part of it, how competitive they are when we go out to practice, when we were in games. I think they both have the competitive nature in them. I think that's the one and only similarities in their games because Phillip is a guy that gets rid of the ball really, really fast. He understands the game of football so well, and he makes it a pleasure for us as offensive line to play for him. And he makes us look good because he gets the ball out of his hands and he puts us in the best situations to go out there and be successful on plays.
I heard he's a trash talker. Phillip Rivers, he admitted to me once, he's like, I do a little trash talking. Now, can you validate that, confirm that?
Oh, he talks a lot of trash. By the time he's calling a play, he's so out of breath because he's talking trash the whole time. But it gets us fired up because when he gets hit, he gets up, he talks trash to the guy that hits him. He's talking trash to the defensive coordinators, the guys on defense, and it's just awesome because, he's so into the football, into the game, that this what makes him so good of a player. Is that he's so competitive, and it keeps him going each and every play.
Mike Pouncey, 8 years, multiple Pro Bowler, one of the top 2 or 3 centers in the NFL. It's a situation with the Chargers that they were in San Diego, they're in L.A., and now you're in kind of a soccer stadium thing. It is a weird NFL situation. Has it been different for you? Take me through the process of you change teams, you're in kind of a different stadium situation. You were in San Diego, it's now in L.A. Has it been odd?
At first it was kind of odd because, our stadium's a little smaller than most NFL stadiums, but as a football team collectively, we've embraced it. We embraced that. Most of the times we're going to be at home, but it's going to feel like a away game. And I think when we have that edge as a football team, it makes us play better because we play awesome on road games, and for the most part, our home games are road games too.
Mike, fans may not realize this. Quarterback's obviously audible, but the center, you call the signals for the line. And I've always known you as a big personality guy. So obviously you want a very smart dude playing center because you have to call the audibles. Now, when you have a quarterback like Phillip, who is a veteran quarterback, he's going to audible a lot more than a rookie or a young quarterback. Is it tougher to play with Phillip sometimes because he demands more of you?
I think it's easier. I'll go up there and I'll make the mic point, but he comes up, he'll correct me. And whenever he audibles plays, he's the guy that's going to make all the points. But I think it's awesome for offensive line because we just go up there and we got to focus on, hey, who we're going to block on this play. And he sets the stage for us. And it's awesome because in the pass game is the biggest for us because he knows where the blitz is coming from. And so he sets the protection to the side that the blitz is coming from. And it makes it easier for him to get rid of the ball when he knows the pressure is coming. It makes it easier for us because we're not sliding away from the pressure, we're sliding into it.
Joey Bosa's back last couple of games.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference? Practice, games. What does he add, do you believe, Mike?
I think he's the best pass rusher in the NFL. And what it does is it opens up a better pass rush for Melvin Ingram. And he's the guy that gets after the quarterback. But those two guys, when they work together, it's pretty much unstoppable in third and long situations. So just to have him back at practice, he just brings, that excitement back. It gave us something to look forward to when we're going into games like, hey, Joey Bosa's back. We can't wait to see him play. And he loves football. He's a big, important piece to our success as a football team, and so we're excited to see how he finishes out the rest of the year.
Mike, centers generally don't get drafted in the first round. You were the 15th pick. You're obviously a great talent. It's funny to watch football now, Mike. You and I mostly grew up, and offensive linemen were known as guys who pancake guys. You run the football. You establish physicality. Well, now we play in a league. It's flag football, okay? So have you had to adapt your game? It is a more finesse game, it feels like.
Yeah, I think so because, when I first came in the NFL, the game was a lot more physical. And whenever you used to drive guys to the ground and pancake them, it used to be a glorified block. But now if you do that, the refs throw a flag because they figure that it's holding because the game moves much more faster. There's more athletic defensive linemen. And so you kind of have to adjust because you got to play on your feet a lot more. You got to keep your hands inside because they're looking for it a lot more these days. But I enjoy it. I think the league's awesome. I think it's headed in the right direction. It's going to be around for a long time.
By the way, you face your bro Marquise this Sunday, Chargers Steelers. Is that strange? I mean, it's amazing. Did you play at the same high school?
Yes, we played same high school, same college.
Okay, same high. God, that's incredible. When did you both know? Now, by the way, who was the better high school player?
I say my brother's better in everything. He's my younger brother.
What about in college? Were you a better college player?
Well, we both had the same accolades. He started as a freshman at center or at right guard at Florida, and he started every year he was there. My freshman year, I didn't start the first 6-7 games. I moved over to defensive tackle, ended up starting the rest of the season. So our careers kind of played out a little different, but we're here and we both have had the same goals growing up. We're identical twins. I think my hardest year was whenever he left his junior year to go to the combine and go pro. I stayed back for my senior year, and that was the toughest year of our lives because it was the first time we were ever separated.
Isn't that amazing? My mom was a twin. They talk about twins, and when you guys are in a room together, you can't stop laughing. You're very funny guys. I imagine it was a very funny. Was mom funny? Dad funny? Sisters funny? Because you guys together are like a comedy routine.
Yeah, we have a really big family, and all of us are, really close knit. We love each other to death. We especially our sisters because growing up, our family's focus was me and my brother because we figured this was our way out of poverty, and so our sisters kind of took a step back, like, hey, let's let the boys do everything. And so we've always been appreciative of our sisters. We love them to death. And, they're part of the reason why we're here in the NFL this day, the sacrifice they took.
Mike, it's great seeing you again. Congratulations. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy work schedule to come on our show. Thanks, bud.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys.
All right, Mike Pouncey, great player. A center picked 15th in the first round. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen a lot. Didn't the kid for the Cowboys get picked? Was he a first rounder? End of the first. Yeah, I mean, you when you get picked, that's when you knew Quentin Nelson, the Colts guard, was good. When you pick a guard in the top 5 picks in the NFL, you're good. By the way, Quentin Nelson is as good as any guard right now in the NFL. Certainly the best rookie offensive lineman. Coming up, we got one stat every Patriot hater won't want to hear. That's next in Best for Last. The Secret Service, those dudes are serious, has issued a warning that crooks are using the United States Postal Service's informal